Okay, hi guys. Was trying something different because I don't want to open standing here like stiff and all of that. Today we're doing something also different. You just know I don't bake a lot, but this is a very dear cookie to me. It's sweet. It is the classic pecan tassie. They're like little pecan pie bites. They're delicious. They're sweet, and I love them. But before I get started, I just want to share something else very sweet. My granddaughter Cecilia is 11 years old. She watches the show, the channel, the whatever, every so often with her dad and mom. And I get a text from my daughter-in-law the other day, and she says, "You're going to love this story." I said, "Okay." She says, "I just met one of Cecilia's friends, mom, and the mom's told me that she checked out your channel because Cecilia was telling her daughter about it, her friend." Now, these two little young ladies are 11 years old, and I couldn't have been more warmed in the heart or overjoyed by hearing this. That I just want to say to Cecilia, Grandma loves you bigger than the ocean. That was a very sweet thing to do. And when I see you, you're going to try these pecan tassies from Grandma. Mwah, I love you, baby. Okay, now let's get on with this recipe because it's not hard, but there's two processes, actually three, because the dough gets chilled. It's cream cheese and butter dough, which is very flaky and delicious. You're going to love that, and flour. So let's start the dough first. Okay, because then it has to, everything should be ideally room temperature. Please don't let me have a ravioli day here. Okay. And to talk about more family stories, my mom gave me this stand mixer about 20 years ago, and if I say I only used it twice, I'm not lying. Okay. And it says periodically, okay, it's a little slower, to scrape down the sides, which I think I'm going to have to do right now. Bear with me, because you know I'm not Susie Homemaker or Betty Crocker. But this recipe does come from the Joy of Baking, and you'll see it on their website. I'm going to duplicate the recipe, copy it by hand into the description for you guys, save you time and energy. So all you have to do is go to my directions if you're interested in making them. And if you think you want to go to Joy of Baking, that's fine too. Okay. Okay, now what took me so long to make these, you'll probably laugh and say, wow, how silly. I couldn't know the memory. These are a cookie my aunt made when I was growing up, and I absolutely adore them. If I close my eyes and smell these baking, I'll know exactly what's in the oven. She didn't call them pecan tassies, and she didn't put them in to, let's say, the flour now. She didn't put them in the shape or the pan, which I'll show you soon. Let's get most of this done because now I want to get the flour in here. She made them in her own style shape, which is like, I think they're traditionally Swedish or German. I'm not sure. But she folded the dough into like a little napkin, triangle napkin, and they're filled with other fillings, raspberry preserves, apricot. I'll talk more about that later. I just want to concentrate here so I don't mess up my recipe. Okay, this just has to come together. You don't want it to come all over you. It's going to be a wet, moist dough. That's why I said it has to, see? Oh, I should stick to cooking. Okay. Got to do this right. I cannot fail this. What did I tell you about real food, real time? That's my slogan. That really is. Scrape this down. You could do this by hand too, they say. And I think in the past I did. But, you know, I want to use the stand mixer. I want to feel like a baker. It's very wet. And then it has to go, it just has to come together. But my mixer is old. See, you know, it's starting to come together. Yeah, there we go. Just give it a minute. I don't make the mistake I made with the raviolis. Okay, it is going to be, like I said, very moist. And now that's the reason it gets refrigerated for at least an hour. Ooh. Got to go in the fridge for an hour. My hands are clean, but I don't feel like getting all gooed up with this. Okay, this may be the beginning and end of my baking. That's okay. It's not my forte. I think we know that. I should stick to pasta. All right. My hands are clean as always. Let's get to this. Let's do this. Let's get this out of here. Help me. And this, I have a pan that makes 24. And you can break this up because this dough recipe claims to make 48 of these cookies. And they're pretty rich, you know. So I think I'm going to cut the dough in half once it's chilled. And we won't have to worry about having so much of the dough. Okay, I think that's plenty. I don't want to overdo it. Okay, get that mess out of here. Let me show you what that looks like. Put it all together, say, sticky. And you make your fingerprints and you can feel it. It's just a very soft cream cheese butter dough. I think a lot of you are familiar with that. And it's luscious. And it's one of the easiest pastry doughs to make. And it's flaky and buttery and delicious. And you don't have to make just this cookie with it. So I'm trying to get it up to, let me get cellophane. Stay right there. Unless you want to watch me get cellophane. Like I said, she did several fillings with this same dough. So you don't have to stick to the pecans, or if you have a situation with nuts that you don't want to use them or don't like them, you can have other fillings. See, now we're going to get that. It's got to sit in the fridge for at least an hour to get a little bit firmer. And we're going to roll it on some flour. That's what it looks like, see? Let's roll up. And while this is in the fridge, I'm going to show you the filling quick. And then we'll come back for the finish. That wasn't too bad. Not too hard. Unless we wind up with 3 cookies like my ravioli day. That would be awful. Let me rinse my hands. I still laugh at that. I'm saying, I proclaim that. I'm having a ravioli day. Don't ask. Alrighty. That's pretty sticky. And look at that lovely mess I got left to myself. Okay, let me move this out of the way and into the dishes. Okay. Filling's fairly easy too. Let's dry up. Let me bring over our melted butter. These are supplies. This is the pan, briefly. I'll mention it to you. This is the pan. It's non-stick. It holds 24, like I said. The dough goes for 48 cookies. I'm going to cut it in half because I don't think we could even get through 24. We're going to wind up sharing them like we did the apple strudel. Although cameraman loves his sweets, I'm not sure. I've never made this cookie for him, so we don't know how he feels about it. If he loves it, there'll be no sharing. If he's iffy, we'll share. Okay, now the recipe for the filling, fairly simple as well. Let me get my box. 3 whole eggs. Okay. To a clean bowl, 3 whole eggs. 1.5, I'll write all the measurements, 1.5 cups of light brown sugar. I took my dark brown out because I wasn't sure. I think you can use either or. I don't know. When I read something somewhere that sugar color on that is a preference. 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. Okay. 4 tablespoons of melted butter. I'm using salted to avoid having to add 1/2 teaspoon, I believe it was, of salt she used. I hate when you have to add all those small extras. And did I throw out the container? Let me just see. Because I bought mine at Publix. It turned out to be exactly 1.5 cups. I bought the pecans at Publix. This little container, because they're pricey, this little container was the exact measurement of 1.5 cups. Now, on the Joy of Baking, she did her own version. She kept them whole. Let's start mixing this in the meantime. She kept the walnuts whole. And I didn't agree with that because what she did was, see this mixture of the eggs and the brown sugar and the vanilla and such? She poured that into the cookies with the pastry when she filled them and then added peanuts. That was tedious. And I said, nobody's going to want to do that. She found it therapeutic, and that's fine. Let me put these into something else I saw on the internet of how, I think it was Test Kitchen, they did a whole series on how to properly whisk And the side to side is the winner for the best blending, and I don't know. So I chopped mine all up, as you can see here, because I am going to take it by the tablespoon when I'm ready to fill those little cups and make life easy. I'm not going to sit and separate the mixture. And I like it blended like this because if I remember when I ate them as a kid, I don't remember big chunks of peanut. Okay, see? So that makes for a much better. I'm going to take, like I said, where is my measurement? And I always keep a separate one aside just for that. So what I'm going to do is, because look, they're pretty much the same size. Once that pastry's in here, I'll get a spoon of the mixture, pour it into the center, and that's an easy way to do it. But now, for the meantime, we have to wait for the dough to chill and get ready for us to fill the cups, the muffin cups, and then bake. They don't take long to bake, but we have to wait now for a good hour, so I'll see you in a bit. Okay, we're back. We have dough. I filled some. I left some for you to show you the size and the cut and how thick to roll it out. It's really kind of, I don't know if you could see this on camera, the thinness. Okay. I don't know. What is that, 1/8 of an inch? So let's continue. Then you take them and you put them in. Some will, if your dough is rolled out a little thicker, you're going to have more of a pie-like cookie. That's all. No biggie, no worry. Okay, because I'm not worried. I refuse to let this turn into a ravioli day, which it almost did. It took a little longer that I left the dough. I left it about an hour and a half in the fridge, thinking that if it solidified a bit more, it would be helpful. But I don't know. It's just, it's a soft dough. It's a cream cheese butter dough. So, and I did have a whole other half if I want to make a whole other batch like this. But what I think I'm going to do is take myself up on the suggestions I gave you guys. Like, if I could show you with the next, I'm going to be one short, and I'll show you what my aunt did. And they're much easier. If you don't have this pan, you don't want to go out and buy this pan. I have this for years. And if I tell you this is only the 3rd time I'm using it, I'm not lying. I don't bake at obviously I don't have to tell you that. You know I don't bake. This is turning into the comedy show. You ever want to stress Janine? Just ask her to bake something. Cook something? No worries. Ask me to bake something? I'll be shaking in my pants. It's all good. That's why I said real food, real time. I share my life, my family, and food with y'all. This ain't, I ain't no chef. All right, now we have them all in there. We made it. And I'll show you what to do with leftover dough. See, now, I don't know. I let this sit waiting for the thing. So I had to remix it a little bit. But you see, I think this still makes for an easier 1 tablespoon per. Let's try to do this neat like that. Let's see. All right. I think that's the perfect measure. I've done them once before in my life, 20 years ago. Okay. And you know what? This is what you could do. You don't have to go crazy, but I know myself. I like to finesse things. You see a renegade pecan, something too much nuts in one place. Have all your things on the ready. I actually should have chopped them thinner. I mean, a little smaller, the peanuts, the pecans. I still don't know if I'm saying that right. Okay, and I said we're going to spill stuff, drop stuff, and bake stuff. And that's the gist of it. I mean, you can stay with me here because this wasn't a terribly long video. I try not to bore you and drive you crazy, but this has to get done. You know what? Maybe a teaspoon. Let me just see. I'll see. You know what? I might switch to a teaspoon. Because it's gooey, and that's my bad. I let it sit waiting for the dough, which there was no mention of that in the video from The Joy of Bacon. She simply said, while the dough is chilling, we're going to make the filling. While the dough is chilling, right? She never said what to do with it. I covered it with cellophane and just let it on the counter, which I'm sure is fine. Yeah. I would say it's a teaspoon per cookie, maybe a little bit more, because see, as thin as we made this dough, it is going to puff up. It's like cream cheese butter mixture, sort of close to, what's that one we love? Puff pastry? Not quite puff pastry, but similar. So it's going to puff more than a regular flat dough would, is what I'm trying to say. You know, so I'm trying to contain. We don't want pecan all over here spreading, is the deal. So a little bit less, maybe a little bit better. Let me switch to a teaspoon. Bear with me. I just think it's better, a smaller portion. And now say, turn it around to me, make it easier. It's just baking. Right? God, I feel like I'm unchopped. Why does baking stress me so much? That one's a little sloppy. And that's what you do. That's all. No worries. You can clean it up. See? I'm calming myself now. It's no big deal. It's just that it's very gooey and it's very messy. So I have to learn and deal with it as I go. So that's a good lesson for any other non-bakers out there that are with me. Are you with me, non-bakers? Because we are doing this together. This is a learning process for me as well, which is what I think is fun. If I were a true blue everyday chef doing this, I'd probably be boring you. I heard you in the background, that one person that said, no, I'd be getting the recipe better. Okay, that's that. Let's see how we're doing here. And I will clean up my pan because I'm like that. Before they go into the oven is preheating at 375. Now, here's the thing, anywhere from 16 to 20 minutes, right? But we don't know. Everybody's oven, like I said, is different. Let me just clean my pan up a bit. Everybody's stove is different, so I really don't know. Mine may cook them in 15 or 18. I don't know. But I'm going to start, like she, the lady, Joy of Baking, suggested, start checking them at 15 minutes. That's the smart thing to do. Start checking at 15 minutes. See? I'm going in here, cleaning up any crazy atrocities and bad messes. This one's annoying me. Okay, see? And they look pretty good. They're going to turn into little pies. And if there's a little spillage, I'm not going to worry. You know what? Because this is the most delicious cookie you're ever going to have, I promise you. You know, it's not even pasta and my mouth's watering. What does that tell you? The memory of this cookie is insane. Okay, let me clean this up too. Okay, now I will take the scraps before I put those in the oven. Or let me get them right in and tell her to set. Okay. 375. Alexa, set timer for 15 minutes. 15 minutes, starting now. Okay, so here's the leftover that I have to use and work with. Let me get a little bit of flour. Just for demonstration. It's a shame I'm going to waste that, but I have to. And it's smellable. See? Goes right back into the way it was. Just make sure your hands are clean. You know, it's baking. You know, put that down there. I'm using my marble roller because I was trying to think of everything that would help it work better because it's sticky. Like I said, see, it's a sticky dough. But once you get the knack of it, and if you're a better baker than me, you're laughing right now saying, that's a breeze. I don't know why she's struggling. What is her problem? Because I'm not a baker at all. I'm just in love with this cookie. Okay. You see? It is a beautiful dough. It's got an unskilled baker, but it's a beautiful dough. So now what I recall my aunt doing, let me get a small knife. I don't have any fillings on hand to show you, but it basically, this is the gist of it. Okay. You take the square like this, you'd fill apricot jam, raspberry jam, whatever, strawberry jam. Put in a teaspoon in the center, and then you would fold it into a little napkin. So if anybody's recognizing this cookie, because I know it's out there, it's all over the place. Raspberry and apricot preserves filled in there, as well as the walnut that we made. Pecans, walnuts. You don't have to do it in the tray with the cupcake like the little pies. You don't have to. I'm not doing that. Cameraman, please. It's very stressed. I got going. Okay, we'll come and show you the finished little pie cookies. And if the video ends here, that means it was a ravioli day. And that's all I got. I showed you the recipe. I showed you the extra shape of cookie. So wish me luck. We'll be back in about 20 minutes with a beautiful cookie. Okay, and after all the stress and all that nonsense that Vinny said I whined about, here's the finished product. And I'm very proud of them. And I gotta say, guys, the pan, if you do these and you want to make them in the mini pie style, get the non-stick pan. It was a breeze to pull them out. Not a problem. See, the bottom, they have to be golden. Once you see that golden edge, you know they're done. See, you'll see the edge is golden. Now, they're absolutely delicious. What I do, because I like it, I put a little bit of powdered sugar, fancy them up a bit. See, they'll come into prettiness. They're coming to prettiness. Okay, because you know I can't leave food boring. I have to do my presentation. It's the only thing I love about my cooking. I love to present. And this is just my little ledge here. I had to use this. These are great. I got it at Home Goods. But there you go. How pretty is she? Now, here's another thing we want to share. As I told you, the other recipes, these definitely get powdered sugar. Vinny used his strawberry preserves. That's not the actual recipe, but that's the style. You see, this one's perfect, if I could show you. And then you put powdered sugar at the end. I know this is a famous cookie and there's a name for it. I don't know if it's Swedish or whatever have you, but it's very, very popular. And like I said, you put apricot preserves, raspberry, strawberry, whatever have you, and they are absolutely delicious because it's the cream cheese butter dough. And you see, they're absolutely, this is the dough of my dreams. I love this dough. It's just, it's flaky, it's delish. I hope you try some version of this and enjoy them. And thank you for putting up with all my craziness. Enjoy.